Vel. Good evening. Welcome. Um, as we can see, some of us are in mourning.
Oh,
Hey, Rodriguez, how's it going?
hey, I don't know. I was counting down from like 1,000 to one, and I just fell
A
asleep.
thousand.
1,000,
Wow,
yeah. It's.
that's
I'm
a.
protesting. I'm protesting here,
I
Farace.
know.
I am wearing black today because of the death of my New York Mets. The way they died in the playoffs. Amazing, amazing job, guys. 101 wins and the bed. Why? Why even bother dragging us through this? That's what it was. Of majestic proportions, 101 win team.
That you can't look away from.
It was brutal. Yeah, it
we
is the
got
put in the book show. A New
the
York
background
Mets
carousel's going.
death
The
cast.
carousel back.
Today
the
is
death
a
cast.
death cast. It's not even a podcast today. It's a death cast. The season is over.
And you know it's not funny, but I've seen Jem, who has been like MIA.
Is he truly
lately.
outrageous?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Really, truly outrageous?
He just started coming back on the Met scene like at the end of the year, like the best season since whenever, and he wasn't all there covering it.
That was a little weird because Jem is a diehard.
And he come back for a week. Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
Vegas.
wait a minute. I hope that you're implying or not implying that Jem is the jinx.
I'm just saying that
because
we
as
shouldn't
soon
be
as Jem came back,
things.
As soon as Jem came back, we went to the tanker then.
Yeah, I'm just of the opinion that
Jem,
if what you're doing during the season is all good and we're getting things done, it's got to continue.
Wow, Jem,
you can't just switch
if you're
things up
hearing
like
us
that
out there, I know you watch us, Jem, because you're our bud, Jem. Defend yourself. Give us a call. Give us a ping. Give us a text. Email something to Farace's house. I don't know what you do. Do anything. Let us know what's going on. You jinxed us, Jem. You suck.
We do have to talk about that.
We miss you though.
And we definitely do. And we missed your entrance music. You're the only one in the history of the show that had entrance music, I think. I don't even actually
Are you talking to me?
No, I'm talking to you. Talking to me? Huh? Talking to me.
You're not talking to me.
Jem had his theme song, and then
are you crying?
Jem might be crying. Jem did have his own theme.
Yeah, he should come. Listen,
when he comes back,
get back on the show.
We'll definitely have your theme ready for you, Jem.
Come back on, bud. All right, Facebook user hola. I don't. There's a link in there.
Your full Spanish. You and your Spanish stuff again.
There's a link in there. StreamYard. Click on that, and I think that still works. But let's. There's just two of us as of right this moment, and of course, right behind the wall, by Rodriguez is producer Joe, who is absent last week. We could also blame him for not being part of the show that we talk about the playoffs. Playoffs. Yeah, there it is.
That's his mother, Joe. Stop.
That's his mother, you went a bit far there. Yeah. But you almost made as much sense as last week.
You could say that about your sister, not your mother.
All right, so we got a bunch to talk about. What happened, what goes on next, who we more pissed off at, and Keith is not here just yet, but we're hoping that he joined us. But in the meantime, producer Joe, go ahead and get us started. He is. All right, everybody. Last time we were here, we were talking about a playoff series coming up. That playoff series is over, and so is our season. A lot of things went on, Rodriguez. We don't have to go game by game, but just overall.
But you will.
No, we're not going to go game by game.
Break my heart again.
No. But I will say that there's a lot of discussion all over Mets internet, which we always make fun of. But now now you got people saying, DeGrom could go. He didn't do anything for us. He's gone. He should be gone. What are we gonna do after we let?
Who won the game for us? Who won the only?
The one guy. So that's kind of where Timmy, what's up? So Timmy, of course. But Timmy and I were chatting yesterday, and one more thing about Timmy being the best Yankee fan ever is that he has the respect for this show. He said he wanted to go after Terzio. Terzio talks a lot of smack, but he's not going to do it on this show. He's gonna
Terzio's little.
He's going to wait for
weird
just too sweet.
Yeah.
But so let's just start there. Jacob deGrom, the only guy to get a victory in the 3-game set against the Padres. He wasn't his best, but in typical Jacob deGrom fashion, even when he's not at his best, and like I said, can't do a blanket statement here, so don't say, the Oakland game and this game. Even when he's not at his best, he's an ace. So he got us that victory, and then on the bookends, we're not so great. But Rodriguez, talk about how deGrom's the only guy who stepped up in the series.
You want to get rid of the guy. You want to talk trash about the guy. The only guy that won the game, a game for us in the series. How many innings did he go? 6? Yeah, he farted. So he went 6 innings and gave up how many runs? 2?
2 runs.
2 runs.
The
ground fart. It feels like I'm in an Adams family. Okay, here we go. Let's see how good producer Joe is. Let's give him a little test here.
Ooh.
Okay, so he threw 6 innings. Gave up 2 runs.
That's it. He lost it. That's all.
Had 8 strikeouts, right? Was it 8 strikeouts he had?
Yeah.
8 in 6 innings. He won the game. He did his job. There you go. This is now I think he's just doing it for fun.
No, that was for the strikeouts.
He likes the smell. He likes the smell.
That was the strikeouts.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got about 14 farts. Boom. 14 farts.
Okay. It's a fart type of day. Look at our background. Farace. It's black, man. Men in black. We are in luto, as we say in Spanish. For 14 days, we will not drink excessively. Just enough, never excessively. So, we're in a. What are you doing, Farace? How can you be drinking during the death cast of the New York Mets season today? No.
Sometimes
change the mood.
Let's see. Should we switch it up a little bit? No, but wait. No. Hold on. Wait.
Let's get a little drunk.
That's for sure. All right. So that's the deGrom side of it. And then if you really want to talk about shitting the bed, it happened on Friday night with Max Scherzer, just giving up bomb after bomb after bomb. Padres celebrating, running around the bases, and you guys know, if you watch this show, I'm usually against booing. I'm usually against booing them.
You did not boo them from your house. You did not boo them from your house.
I screamed at that goddamn television. I didn't boo them, but I said my mom was there, my brother was there, and I screamed out, if anybody deserves to boo the hell out of him. That's the way I felt in the moment.
That's a really horrible way to be.
Well, I still believe that he deserved to get booed, and if you tell me otherwise, I feel like you're lying to me.
I'm gonna tell you. Not otherwise.
Producer Joe booed from home. Okay. That's a fact. Listen, or the wedding.
I'm surprised that Producer Joe didn't throw his phone at somebody and hit a pretty little old lady dancing somewhere. Would have made
a TikTok video at the wedding. Video
flying him.
Irate Mets fan.
Of course. Producer Joe on the spot. What did Max? You know, Max Scherzer is prone to home runs. He's been that way his whole career. Okay, because sometimes he challenges when he shouldn't challenge. Okay, and his control was off. He wasn't pinpoint when he's throwing 94 and he's got the changeup and he's got the curveball and he's got the slider and he's got the sinker. When he's got those pitches going, he can challenge people with 94. But when he doesn't have them, he can't bring that stuff in there. And what did they expect? Fastball. Same thing. They expected fastballs from DeGrom. How do you think that guy hit a home run over DeGrom? Because he's expecting a fastball. Why would you throw him a fastball? Pitch backwards, DeGrom. You probably could have thrown a no-hitter if you just pitch backwards and just throw them off. It's not that big a deal. You have the curveball, you have the slider. Use your fastball sparingly. That's the same thing that Scherzer should have done. Listen, they took it from us on Friday. I'm sorry. They took it from us. They took our heart. You could see that the Mets, they were battling back. But you lose 7-1? Or was it 7-0? I'm sorry. I forgot. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay? With a rock today, like the Rock. It doesn't matter what your name is. It doesn't matter how we lost. We got smacked around by the Padres. They took our heart. They wore us down. We came back in the second game. In the third game, they wore us down, man.
Like Jeffrey
Dahmer. At home, the guy could have thrown a no-hitter. He was close. At home, dude. That's embarrassing. And I never say things like that about the Mets. I'll try to be positive, but that was rough. And speaking of rough, your best, the player that you love the most. Tell us a little bit about Ruff. Would you
heard? Yeah, right. There it is. You heard the crowd. One of the biggest cheers of the whole series was when he got hit by a pitch and he got on base. He got on base twice, so you can't even complain about it. He walked and he got hit by a pitch.
It's not even funny. It's not even funny how sad the offense was.
Useless human being, Mr. Ruff.
It was the offense went stale at the wrong time. I mean, they were hitting the ball hard at times. I mean, and the Padres, to their credit, made some of the plays, but at the same time, to actually go dead in your first round of the playoffs after winning 101 games, that should be your 101 should have been like a slap in the face to the Padres and scared them. But they came in like they came in like they owned our field, dude. You saw them running around the bases. I mean, it's like they just took it from him in the first game, and he just kept challenging them. I'm like, stop challenging them, pitch away, and then hammer him inside, pitch away. He kept challenging them. Sometimes you got to know when you're not there.
God, and so, and Rodriguez, that's where I feel that a guy like DeGrom separates himself from a guy like Scherzer. Yes, they're both phenomenal pitchers, but I feel like there's times where DeGrom can make the adjustments, even within a bat or within an inning, more than I've seen Scherzer do it. And obviously, I haven't seen Scherzer's every start, even when he was in his prime. But the other thing is that Scherzer didn't have the cutter because of the impact it could potentially have on his oblique. Now, DeGrom has gone through, similar type things where a certain pitch would cause more potential impact, and they wanted to cut back, but he was able to persevere and get through. Well, Scherzer, those 94-mile meatballs, like you said.
Well, they're two different type of pitchers. DeGrom can get away with a fastball down the middle at 99. Scherzer can't get away with a fastball down the middle at 93, 92 when he's getting tired in the 6th, 7th inning. That's what you hear. And you hear it a lot, and you hear it, and you see it go really, really far. Yeah, like that. Pretty bad. So,
my neck hurts.
I mean, sometimes you have to pitch bad to be good. And you can't be anywhere in the strike zone if they got you pegged for some reason. If they're timing your fastball, you can't throw the fastball unless you surprise them. That's it. It's got to be, the pitch that you tuck away then. You got to have more than one pitch. Except DeGrom can throw a 99, 100-mile-an-hour fastball. It kind of helps him sometimes. That's why he went 6 innings. Otherwise, he wasn't on either. Really?
Oh, no. Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
So, I mean.
So, Timmy's asking Rodriguez, so DeGrom is 34. He'll turn 35 during the season next year. So what are the Mets? What are you comfortable with? Yeah, you own the Mets and you've given him a contract. How many years? How much?
Well, listen, he's wearing down lately. And he's been hurt the last couple of years. So if we're negotiating and we're being realistic, I'm going to tell him, you've been hurt the last couple of years. What do you think is a fair contract? You're not going to tell me $50 million for you. That's insane. I'll give you as much as I gave Max Scherzer.
A penny more.
$1 million.
$1 more.
And a dollar more or $1 million more, because it doesn't matter at the time. Your thing is, I think the Grom's thing is that he wants to be that number one guy, and he wants people and everybody to know he's got a little bit of pride in himself. I appreciate that. I appreciate that competitiveness. But don't go crazy and ask for the world, because you need to prove a little bit that you can pitch for the next 3 to 5 years. Yeah. I would be comfortable with giving him a 5-year contract, with the last 2 years being an option between us both, the management and himself. 3 for sure, and then the last 2 years are optional. Whether we agree to stay with each other or not. Okay. I don't know. Producer Joe may approve.
Wow.
I can't believe that happened. All right, what's today? Record this show for sure. But that's good. So I would be okay with that.
Yeah, I'm around the same with you. 4-year deal, and so it'll be north of about $165 million. If you're looking at in terms of annual salary. And so here's another question. Rodriguez, do you ever think it's okay or should be done, even though it's astronomical how much they make, to make up for something on the next contract from what they performed during their previous contract? So do you take into consideration, okay, yeah, he won 2 back-to-back Cy Youngs, he didn't. And this is where it gets hard, because they make so much damn money that he didn't make where he could have made as a back-to-back Cy Young award. So do you boost it up a little bit? Does Cohen say, okay, I'll take, maybe the Yankees, maybe the Braves, maybe several other teams offer $42 million a year. Do I now offer 47 a year? $5 million difference.
No,
do you bring the ace back?
I bring him back as a Met. I talk to him as a diehard Met, and I ask him, what do you think is a fair salary? If he's within what I think is fair, I give it to him. I can't say a price, because what my price is more than Max. How's that? Because I think as the Mets stalwart, a guy that's going to supposedly lead us to a championship, and he can, man. He really can. I think he should be making more than Max. He's our ace. To me, Max is a 1B. DeGrom is really truly the 1A, no matter what anyone says, because when DeGrom is on and he's changing speeds, it's over, man. So, but he's got to be on the field too. So,
got to be on the field.
Maybe some stipulations here and there, some
incentives, laden contract,
that type of stuff. Yeah, sure, why not? It's only fair, because
you get a boost at. You take the average of whatever many starts, and then you take a little bit of a booster. He gets to 24 starts. A little bit of a booster. He gets to 28 starts. A little bit, 30 starts. Yeah, okay. But
listen.
I get a little carried away. Sorry.
What fantasy world are you living in?
Sorry, I apologize.
I think we're turning into a Mets podcast now. We're off death. We're a little bit
coming to. Timmy also said, Rodriguez, your ear looks a little shiny. I do want to talk about that. No, it's Musgrove. The whole what's his first name? Musgrove. What's Musgrove's first name? Tony. Joe. It is Joe. But Tony feels good too. Tony Musgrove. Anyway, so you get into the Sunday game, do or die, make or break, 1-1, rubber game, all that stuff. Obviously, it doesn't work out. Bassett had his, you'll think back, Bassett, when he struggled, it was against the West Coast teams. It was against the Padres and it was against the Dodgers. We talked about that a couple times during the year. And I'm very confident in this guy, but he didn't do it for us. The offense didn't do it for us, and in the end, you got a 77 to a 101 win jump, and not much more to show for it. So, but in year one, if you're looking at it from a business perspective, Rodriguez, Steve Cohen looks at this as a positive. This is a good step in the business plan.
He should look at it as a positive. He's got a 101 win team. He's got all of MLB talking about the Mets again. Baseball, the Mets are popular. Yeah, Joe just had a double goo. Wow. Double goos are rare. He's a goo.
Big goo.
Goo today.
The goo
Anyway,
dolls,
don't get
Iris.
Creepy. Farace.
Goo
See
dolls.
how you get. See how you get. Look how red you are. Are you thinking about sex again, Farace?
I'm just enjoying.
I'm
trying to drown. I'm drowning out the weekend.
Cheers to the season. Cheers to you, Met fans. Thank you for tuning in. If you're watching the show, and if you're not, you missed it.
Yeah. Okay.
This is Joe approved.
All right. So I do want to talk about the whole Joe Musgrove thing. You can the whole the ear, shiny ear thing. So you know how it came about?
Now I get it. Okay.
Yes. How that all came about was, at least from what I saw, was that there were people behind the scenes, maybe even over Twitter, that tagged Steve Gelbs in this photo of. I was like, man, why is his ear so shiny? But my mind didn't go that way. So who knows? Maybe Gelbs said, hey, maybe check this out. But the fact of the matter is there are a couple of videos on YouTube that show him going to his ear a couple times before pitches. David Cohn is the one who kind of brought up his rotation. His spin rate was, well above what his spin rate had been previously. And yeah, the Padres and their fans are calling it desperate. But what Buck Showalter said in his post-game speech is accurate. He's paid to do whatever it takes for the Mets to win a game, and that there's no competitive advantage going on. Before that, he's wiped his ear. Goo!
If you have anything on your fingers, it's gonna affect how you throw the ball.
Yeah,
plain and simple. Every baseball fan knows that. Spit, a little whatever it is that you got, some phlegm, whatever you want to use. It doesn't matter. A little armpit, a little armpit stink, whatever it is you put on that baseball, it's gonna affect it. So, did he have goo? Was he a goo guy like producer Joe?
I don't know. But then the goo was gone.
I don't know.
The goo was gone because he wiped it.
The goo was gone. There you go. A little Gaylord Perry, a little old school. But it doesn't matter. The Mets didn't hit it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And I don't. You got to do it. And then I'm watching. I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna toss this guy out. And then I'm watching, and it's no longer. I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna turn against us here. And the whole crowd's chanting cheater, and then it just goes awry.
It's not gonna go away though, because next year, whenever we play those Padres again, it's gonna be on. That's what's gonna happen. So let's see. We got a nice rivalry at least for the next 5 years.
Yep.
I would hope so. I hate them. I hope they hate them as much as I do.
They're gonna hate it. Musgrove is always called desperate and whatever.
Machado needs one in the ear hole. I know that for sure.
You've known that for years.
No, he does not know that because that
really he does.
Could kill him.
He does.
That'll kill him. Hit him.
No, just be careful.
Or on the thighs.
Give him one in the ear hole.
Just be careful with the ear hole.
Just be careful, but throw at his head. Are you like
soft fastball?
Out.
I think you might have got hit a little bit too many times in your head when you tried to bat, buddy.
He said 93, not 99. That's
93. Okay. So he was taking it easy on him. He's kind-hearted that way, producer Joe. That's why he's my friend.
Okay. We talked about this a few weeks ago, But now, all this stuff is happening while there's still teams in the playoffs. The playoffs are still going to go on without us, the World Series and all that garbage.
I'm not watching it. I don't want to know anything about it.
I have.
You're going to ruin it for me.
Hey, Madeline. No, I'm not going to ruin. But so now you start turning your attention towards what are the Mets going to do in the offseason, free agency, both on our team, free agent potential targets, trade targets, all that stuff.
I'll keep rough. I'm going to keep rough.
Yeah, right.
That's the first guy I signed. Sign him up.
Sign that, bad boy. But I did see just a little while ago.
Open the door fast enough for him.
Bye, Ruff. Oh my God.
Been a rough ride.
I did for sure. I'm going to appreciate that for just a moment that it was a rough ride.
You should. Thank you.
Just a little while ago, I saw that one of the, and this is Captain Obvious here, but the Mets want to wrap up a deal potentially with Edwin Diaz before he even hits the open market. Smart. That's the best. One of the best parts about having Steve Cohen. He's
Diaz
a shrewd
doesn't want to go
businessman.
Anywhere.
No, he said,
go anywhere,
I want to be taken care of early.
He has that little thing in there that he can get in there, boom, get that done and get out, and then worry
Been to
about
his house so many times, had dinner.
I mean, listen, come on. He's Puerto Rican. He's very friendly. He's going to be friendly from the get-go anyway. And you give him a fair price, he's going to come through because Puerto Rican, man. He'll be all right. Hopefully next year he don't mess up after I say good things about you.
Good things. But let's give credit where credit is due. Edwin Diaz. Look, he took
very good year. Good Lord.
But not only that, I respect the hell out of this guy now even more so. He took the best shot that the New York crowd had to. He gave up 15 ninth inning home runs in one season. Got booed out of all these stadium, all these games, blown saves, and he's only gotten better every single year after that. The same thing happened with Lindor. So you guys, Met fans, I know that it's a weird scenario, that they're human beings, in some aspect. That yes, they're not robots, and you can see that it maybe not in the first year, but gradually. I mean, the guy was playing in Seattle. Lindor is playing in Cleveland. There's there's 3 reporters in the clubhouse after the game. Meanwhile, in New York, there's 27 in your locker. Right.
If they're playing the Yankees or another team, then you have 3 guys. Otherwise, you have 1. I mean, honestly,
the beat reporter.
They all say it. They all say it, how tough it is to come to New York. And it takes a minute. And some people can handle it. And when they can't handle it, guess what happens? We boo the heck out of them. It gets even worse for them. And then they leave. They go to Cleveland and they hit 25 home runs.
Right.
That's just the way it works. It's about the pressure. You need to be a special kind of player in New York. I think Diaz, I think Lindor have it. I know Alonso has it. McNeil has it. These guys that you can tell have that, heart and that mentality to be able to play in New York. Because none of them have lashed out to the fans, except for Lindor's little bump. But he was hanging out with his little buddy. It's like a high school thing. He was like influenced by another guy. That's what I'm gonna think, so I don't get pissed off at him.
Yeah, exactly.
But we'll let that go. But you have to be a special type of player to be in New York, and there's some guys that can, some guys that can't. And I think Billy Epler, general manager, vice president of the whole Mets thing in charge, is going to do a good job for us, Farace. I think he's going to figure out who we can get rid of and who we can bring back.
Talk about a segue.
And bring in.
Yeah, so it looks like Billy Epler is going to be in charge of all that is free agent trade. Obviously, there's Steve Cohen says, no, don't do that. He's not going to do it. But it's just another thing that Met fans are pissed off about. And in this scenario, I will the only thing that I will say, the only misstep, I guess the only misstep that I can think of is that trade that we've talked about, rough. But outside of that, in
theory, though, the trade was good.
Yes, of course.
When you looked at all the stats, when you looked at all the stats, he was the guy they wanted.
Stop it.
I'm glad I'm not getting
it. No, both of you. Shut up.
I'm not getting yelled at. Well, I get yelled at.
You're both like you're both.
I said it was a mistake.
Well, yes, bad trades happen, man. Bad trades happen. They happen. Great trades happen. Bad trades happen. Mediocre trades happen. They happen. What the mistake was sticking with Ruff way too long. Way too long. We were watching it game after game after game. 0 for 3, 0 for 4, 0 for 3. And then he started kicking the ball in the outfield.
Exactly.
And we were like, wait a minute. Now he's costing us on the other side of the ball. What? Is it Buck? Is it Billy telling him he's got to keep him in the lineup? Well, at some point, it was counterproductive having him there. Ride the pine, put him in as a pinch hitter if you need be, but having him in the lineup in late September was brutal, a brutal decision. I mean, and let's be honest. Watching Dom light it up in AAA was just making it that much worse. I mean, maybe if Dom hadn't lit it up, it wouldn't have been so bad. But we're watching Dom tear the cover off the ball, and we're watching just Ruff in the lineup every day and getting nothing out of the catch it hole.
And JD doing his thing.
So bad trades happen. Bad trades happen. Good trades happen. And you can't fault him for that. Yes, oh my God, 4 players for this piece of shit. But the problem I have with it is that he was on the playoff roster. He was in the lineup. Yes, he got on base because he got hit twice.
That's it.
I would have put Alvarez in as the DH. I would have put that 20-year-old kid in as the DH instead of Ruff. But what I was trying to say before Joe went berserk was that maybe the trade was a good one.
Obviously, something that got.
I agree. I was watching my back for a second. I said, I'm going to get stabbed over this.
Through the wall.
Through the wall. He's going to come and grab me and pull me back in, like in a movie. Like,
that would have been freaky.
What's the matter with you?
It's like what Kane and The Undertaker.
See, he's creepy like that. He does that all the time.
Yeah, he does. So what were you trying to say?
Me? I was just trying to say that they needed a right-handed hitter.
Yeah, they definitely need the right-handed bat. So, I mean,
so they traded for him. That's all.
And the thing with Alvarez, why they didn't bring him up earlier in the month of September, is because they were concerned with the ankle injury. But then he came.
I'm good with that. Listen, I'm great with that. But now that you had him up and you saw how he hit, okay, Ruff.
If he runs into one,
get out of here, bro.
Right? He might.
He's 20 years old. He's gonna try to hit the crap out of the ball. Of
course, yeah.
Sometimes talent is gonna win over strategy, over a good pitch. Sometimes talent is just gonna take over. He's gonna hit a bomb. It was as good as Ruff did, dude. Because Ruff was batting 0.32 or something like that.
Unbelievable.
So what's the difference?
And I have more confidence.
He kept waiting and trying to get the guy hot, trying to get him started, trying to get him going. Because you knew that the guy's a good player when he's going, but he just never got going.
And he's deadly against left-handed hitters, left-handed pitchers. And then he just doesn't hit a home run when he gets here against nobody. Against lefties.
So maybe the guy's not built for New York. Have a nice day. See ya.
Right. So yeah, that kind of connects us back to the Diaz thing. And Lindor, and if you go back, Piazza got booed crazy to the point where I didn't think he was going to resign.
I'm surprised he resigned. It was a great signing for us. I mean, it's nice to have somebody like Piazza in our Hall of Fame, in the Hall of Fame as a man.
And imagine he got a massive contract, 7 years, $91 million. It's absurd.
You got these guys making that in 2 years now.
Now you can't. You really should appreciate the lack of, with exception of 5 catchers in baseball, the complete lack of offense. Like we got used to like Piazza and LaDuca and Hundley. We had Carter. We had prominent bats. I know this is getting a little off subject, but we had prominent bats behind the plate. And now it's just like there's 5 good hitting catchers in all of baseball. But Rodriguez, what I saw a special, and they were talking about how the whole if and when the robot umpires come, there's not the need to frame as much anymore. So the framing stuff kind of it won't be as important. I know, but just let's talk facts here. The framing won't be as important, so they're anticipating a lot more offensive catchers.
No, so guess what's going to happen when the framing is not as important? The guys are going to be able to clock you. The pitches are going to get hit. There's going to be a lot more offense in the game. That's what's going to happen, because if you got that square,
he's a pitcher, guys. He's a pitcher. He doesn't want more offense.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you're bringing up the point of framing, and I'm telling you, as a pitcher, and I caught a lot of games too. Framing is not so much that you're getting that strike. It's that you're fooling the batter, and you're making him think that wherever your arm is going to be, it's definitely going to be a strike. So even if you're way out here, he might swing because you're getting those little strikes. So it plays into the hitter's brain. As a hitter, I remember that type of stuff. As a player, I know these things. Well, I believe I know these things. So that's why I say that. I don't believe in the robot umps. I'm sorry. It's going to have to be proven to me. But robot umps, why? Just it's a human game, man. There's mistakes going to be made. It's just the way it is. When somebody pulls a muscle, what are you going to do? It's the same
mistakes like Darren Ruff.
That's putting him on the roster. That's putting him on the roster. Jason Bay, Darren Ruff.
The list goes on and on and on and on. All right.
Daniel Murphy.
Stupid.
Beltran.
Oh, wow. You mentioned him on your own this week.
What? I can't. I'm so upset. He's not going to. I'm so happy he's not doing anything.
But we don't know what's going to happen in the offseason but I don't want to upset you any more than what you already are.
I swear to God. That's great. I'm going to be walking around the house thinking, who do I have to kill? I mean, who do I have to talk to? Beltran not to be a man.
All right. So do you trust Billy Epler? Do you trust him under the guidance of, listen, what's his name? Sandy's still going to be a little chirping in the background somewhere.
And I like that.
A little on the job training, right?
Sometimes you need a little voice that'll tell you, don't go too crazy on this guy because he's a little bit of flash in the pan.
Because the guys on his shoulder drink more.
Yeah, it's not nice when he went. Why do you say these things to him?
I'm sorry.
That's how he's going to respond to you. It's going to be rude. He's just going to be rude. But I like Billy Epler, but I also like Sandy Allison just hovering above a little bit. There's no money issues now. So people can say whatever they say. There's no money issues on the Mets unless they want it to be. So we have money. We can get the players. Billy Epler can bring us Shohei Ohtani.
Ooh.
Billy Epler can bring that guy. Okay. Billy
Who else
Epler
can he bring?
Also,
I don't want to judge the guy too unfairly, but
I'm thinking with that guy, we're done judging. We're done talking about it, because if he brings that guy to the Mets, dude, he could bring any skanky around. He could bring out. He could feel. Here comes the judge. Here comes the judge. Remember that TV show, that commercial, or whatever it was? We could get that guy. He has those connections. So as long as he tries to keep this core intact, because they won 101 games. I'm upset with them not getting farther in the playoffs, but I'm proud to be a Met fan because we kicked butt this year. We did well. I don't care what anybody says, even what producer Joe says. We did well. So
Joe, he's always a downer. He's always such a downer.
He really is. He's so angry.
Now that so all right, Keith might be along in the next couple of minutes, but just
don't get him
as
into
we
a car
talk about
accident.
What?
Don't get him into a car accident.
No. He pulled in. He pulled into his driveway.
Don't want to know what he's pulling. In or out. Doesn't matter.
In or out.
Shut up!
That's fair. All right. So we talk about Billy Epler. We, you know, the thought is, you know, GMs are going to make bad trades, like producer Joe said. You're going to have bad signings. Not every signing is going to be, you know, not every signing is going to be Starling Marte. Not every signing is going to be, you know, every trade is going to be Lindor. It's not going to happen. We're going to have these, and we're lucky that the mistake was with a guy like Darren Ruff instead of a position that's, you know, much more important to us. Now, you know, you brought in guys like Vogelbach, Ruff, and what's his name from Cincinnati that I can't remember his name because it's not important.
NyQuil.
Yes. NyQuil. Put us to sleep.
Put your ass to sleep. Can't hit nothing.
So there was you know, part of the fan base that thought, okay, thinking back to 2015 when you got guys like Kelly and Uribe and lesser guys.
Yeah,
that was the thought process, right? But NyQuil didn't.
It's a different hitter. I'm sorry, it's a different type of hitter. Those three guys
a different philosophy.
NyQuil, Ruff, and Vogelbach, whatever the heck his name is. Right? Did I say it? Vogie's a contact guy. As big as he is, he's a contact guy. You see him? See? There he is. Vogie just came on. Oh no, that's Keith. Ooh, Joe. So this Joe got a Woody.
What's up, gentlemen?
What's up, buddy?
All right.
Just rough time getting home.
Well, you're wearing the right color. You and I didn't get the memo, but you and Rodriguez.
You're wearing the hat. You're wearing the hat. I get it. You're wearing the
morning.
Hat.
There it is. The black background.
Morning,
so all right,
evening, all the time. We're screwed. We're Met fans.
So Keith, just to kind of catch up a little bit here, Timmy was in the comments earlier. He's asking how much and how long would you extend cyGrom if you're not one of those fans out there that want to get rid of him because he's the only guy who won a game for us in the series. So Rodriguez and I kind of agreed that we'd be in the, you know, I said 4, Rodriguez said 3 to 5, same shit, and a little bit north of what Scherzer is making. What do you think?
Yeah, so for me, I would do 3 years with a 4th-year option. Obviously, everybody's going to agree on those terms. But 3 years with a 4th year.
You just agreed with Rodriguez more than I let on without knowing. That's very good. He mentioned options. That's why. He said 3 years with 2 options.
I would try to get away with a team option, you know, just because see how his health is at that point. But I'm not so sure a player of DeGrom's caliber you would. So it would probably be a player option. And, you know, I would probably do, what is DeGrom? What is Scherzer doing? 39, 40 million?
He's around 42 and change.
So you do like a 3-year option, 126 million with a 4th-year player, the 4th-year option, 45 mil player option. Something. I mean, that's crazy money. I can't even believe I'm saying that.
This is along the lines of what we were talking about. So you're in line. I think we're in trouble now because we all agreed. I don't know, producer Joe, did you agree with us? And I get called poop and milk. I swear to God. I swear to you.
You know,
no, that was his answer. He's taking a shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you caught me in the middle of a shit.
I hear the bell.
You started talking about DeGrom, and I ran right to the fucking crap.
Wow.
No. You know.
Wow.
No. Look. You know what it is? You're talking about 3 or 4 years at about 45 million a year, right? So you're talking about committing.
Shut up.
100. Committing 180 million to this guy, and then, but it's overwhelming how many other pieces we have to fill.
Well, how many holes do we have? You gotta.
We have our closer is unsigned. We have.
Well, we know that's the top priority.
Our center fielder is unsigned.
Yes, those two absolutely.
Those are 2 pretty big pieces, dude. I mean, and
But you also have to take consider this is the only guy who won a playoff game for us. Max Scherzer's making $43 million, and it gave up a home run per $10 million.
I'm just saying, I don't know that $180 million should be our first priority of off-season signings. And everybody is saying, no, you have to get that taken care of first. I don't know. I think maybe you got to worry about getting Diaz signed first.
I think it's priority internally, but to media and stuff, you run a risk of driving DeGrom out if you say, Diaz is our number one priority, just from a media standpoint.
I hate this kind of talk because, so the Mets have so many different options right now in terms of either sign, go to free agency, stick with the farm. But, there's a lot of free agents out there we want to keep on the team that played for us for a long time, DeGrom, Nimmo. And we talk about what the priorities are. But truthfully, Epler should be able to reach out to all of their agents one day, just bang out emails, and whatever comes in first, you handle first. No priorities, just attack the whole situation in a whole. Hey, if we end up signing for DeGrom, it's not because he's priority over one. It's just because that's the way the deal went. Because I think
that's fine.
Yeah,
but I mean, I'm not gonna cry if he walks, man. What out of the last 2 seasons? How many innings did we get out of DeGrom? How many? How many playoff games did we win? We won 1 game, and it was with him. Look, how many innings did we get out of DeGrom the last 2 years? 100 innings. I mean, it's not gonna make or break our team if we sign him. I'm sorry. I'm being blunt. I'm being honest. I would love for him to end his career as a Met. He's fantastic.
Yeah.
He's fun to watch. He's electric. He's great. He's a fierce competitor. He's everything you want in an ace. I'm not going to cry if he walks, man. I'm not. I would love for him to end his career as a Met, but he hasn't proven to me he can make a full season. I mean,
but let me ask you a question, and I'm not coming after you on this, but you say that guy an ace who has pitched 100 innings, and we're just throwing numbers out there because I don't know off the top of my head, but if he leaves, he's not going to impact us that much, but. And this is a running joke, but there's so many fans out there. I didn't say
it wouldn't impact us that.
No, that you wouldn't cry about it, but you and others cry about the impact of a James McCann with just 150 at bats on the season.
Well, that's every game. That's every game.
No, not 150 at bats is not every game. 150 bats is
every game. We have the 9-hole to fill in the lineup, dude. Every game.
Well, that's either Ruff or McCann or Nito or that's a
lineup.
lot.
That's a hole in the lineup every game.
That's
game we have
what percentage of the lineup? Pitcher. What percentage of the lineup is that versus what percentage of DeGrom is our wins over the last 5 seasons or our?
Can I just jump in on this real quick? Because I think DeGrom has has a little bit of a bad rap in terms of his innings. Yeah, he's been hurt the last 2 years. But even in 2021, he finished 9th in the Cy Young voting, and I don't think he was even eligible. And they voted for him anyway.
Yeah.
This is how good this guy is. You know what I mean?
I said he's fantastic. He is.
And if you go back to 2020 and before, he's been pretty consistently healthy, and he came back the second half this year looking pretty damn strong. Little tweaks here and there, but a guy who throws like he does is going to miss a start or two in their 30s. It happens. But he finished the season strong. You got to say that, number one. Number two, I don't see anything coming up from our farm that's going to say, oh, okay, we got a Strider like the Braves have, or my lamp is showing again. Look at that. Oh, the Mets helmet's showing right there too, though. And Darth Vader. Wow. But, like the Braves had all these young pitchers coming up and things like that. We don't really have that coming up. We probably need another 2 or 3 years to develop pitchers, draft pitchers, trade for young guys. And I think it's important if we want to win now and in the future that we re-sign free agents like DeGrom while Scherzer's still with the team. I think if we want to continue that win now and later philosophy, I just think it's important that a guy like DeGrom comes back, because it creates a huge gaping sinkhole if he leaves that rotation.
Yeah, and like Joe, like what Joe was saying, and Keith, the priority level, to me, that just, who wants to get signed, over the last few years with free agency, it's people, guys holding out until spring training. Conforto, there was a draft pick attached to him. That, I think, that's gone after starting this year, right? So the draft pick compensation's gone, so that goes away, but as far as priorities are concerned, I think that, Joe's right. I do want to get Diaz. We got to slam the door shut on,
That's
what's
another
the use?
huge get. We need
What's
to,
the use of a starting pitcher if you can't slam the door shut? So, and then
right.
That's to me. And then Nimmo has, he was very healthy this year. And if you're going to go by what have you done for me lately, like we are thinking about with DeGrom, you got to sign the guy. He's a leader. He's optimistic as hell, obviously, and he has developed into one of the best center fielders in baseball. Remember Rodriguez? I don't know why I feel like you and I had a long conversation about this several years back, and how DeGrom, Nimmo, if he just stopped playing so shallow, played a little bit, a little bit.
I was about
deeper,
to say that. I think coaching has a lot to do with his emergence,
100%.
Also with the glove. Yeah.
Yep. And then just being healthy. That's just, we talked about at the beginning of this year. There's sometimes in a guy's career, whether it be baseball, basketball, football, hockey, the first 4 or 5 years they're hurt. It's an up and down thing, and then just 1 year it clicks, and you're not hurting.
Hope that click. That's a steady click for the rest of his career. Let's just hope that it's not a click and then boom, down
click,
again.
Click, boom.
Yeah, I think
because if he's healthy, he's going to put up the numbers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have a quick. He doesn't have a quick jump, so you can't make him play in, and then fly back on the balls. He
all
has
those
to be
balls
there
kept on getting over his head. Remember that?
Yeah, of course, to get over his head because he was playing too
chasing
shallow.
Constantly.
Listen, coaching
and play of the year,
ball players, and
the play of the year
the
on
one
that
he brought back. The one that he brought back. He's 6'2", 6'3", right? I think he's a tall kid.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
So he can go to the fence and jump at that fence and do a little damage once in a while. Bring something back.
Yeah, and he did a couple times this year too, right? He made some really nice plays out there.
Yeah,
the thing with him,
defense.
Yeah, and the thing with him is, and what have we?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to change the subject.
Continue that conversation. Have you touched?
Wow.
No, but when it comes to Nimmo, there's not a lot of guys, and we'll find out in a couple of weeks after the World Series. We'll do a deeper dive into the free agents, but there's not a lot of guys that can be in a leadoff spot with. How many RBIs did he finish up with? 50, 60.
Listen, he 64. Was money in the last week of the season. He was money. He was the one getting on. He was hitting. He was trying
3 for 3 in game 2. Yeah, he was
64, and he had an off year with the on-base
64 RBIs from the leadoff spot.
The leadoff.
Yeah, and he had an off year with his on-base 367, and that's an off year.
367, and for him it's bad, but
he played the whole year.
He played the whole year.
Oh yeah,
he was on base more because he was healthy.
Yep.
Yeah, let's take it easy on the stolen base. He did something. Why is he so nervous about? It's because he got that the whole thing about being hurt. So that's one thing. He's got the speed, but he doesn't want to risk it because he might get hurt on those.
He doesn't have the burst. You need that quick burst to get from first to second. Having speed. That's why they're playing him deep, dude, because he doesn't have the burst. He can come in, but he can't burst back. Yeah, see, Joe knows about burst. Got 3 kids.
Dun dun dun.
That's right. I missed that. Wow, I missed that on a lot of topics. Right, you guys probably talked about Musgrove and.
Yeah, we did talk about Musgrove. We talked about I mentioned the fact that Buck said that in the after the show it's the after party in the post game where he was talking about it's my job to do whatever it takes to get the Mets get a victory. whatever the case might be, if you look at some of the videos on YouTube, you'll see him going at his ear.
Yeah,
pitching.
there was a lot of shade thrown at Buck, but truthfully, if your performance increases 50%, and
on every pitch, on all the pitches,
there's, I mean, maybe it was adrenaline, who knows, but there's definite cause to call something out. So all those people that throw shade at Buck, even our own Gary Cohen and other baseball voices out there, slow down. And it was also a gameplay. He was trying to get in his head a little bit. Didn't work, but at that point, you got to start throwing a kitchen sink out there because we were just getting plummeted. See this wall behind me? That's because we hit a brick wall. That's why I put it there.
We sure did.
Yep.
All right. All right. So just as far as the arbitration stuff, man, I think we're getting away so damn cheap with guys like Jeff McNeil. The projection for him is $6.2 million. Imagine paying $6.2 million in a scenario where this guy led the world in hitting, not just the National League, but he was 12 percentage points ahead, or 13 percentage points ahead of the American League runner-up.
He's gonna get a little bump up. He's gonna get a little bump up because he's proven he can be that guy. He can be the average guy. He doesn't have to be the home run guy. He can get on base, drive. If he hits for high average, he's gonna drive runs in. Okay, so you want to bat that guy third now.
I like, and not to mention the evil, but I like the Kraplana's approach where they kind of lock up some of their guys like this, and I wish we would do that. I mean, he's locked up with us till 2025 because of his tenure, but I mean, just I think players like him and Pete, you should just kind of lock up.
He's 30 years old too. He's 30 years old though.
Yeah, I mean, you lock him up 5-6 years.
He's not a young player. Well, why you gotta lock him up if you already got him for 3 more years?
Why not?
Without having to spend any money. Because he's going to keep the money. Use that money for somebody else. He's
going to cost an arbitration over the next couple. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. Right?
He'll be 35. Let him go. Yeah. See you,
McNeil. I mean, you could extend him, beyond that. And they'll probably wait to see what goes on the next year or two. But if he keeps on hitting it, he's not a big guy. He's not a pop kind of guy. At least he is not a pop kind of guy when he's going well. So just keep it at that, even keeled, and just don't hurt yourself. All right, let's go through this list, and then we'll finish up for tonight.
Okay.
These are the arbitration projections. All right, Daniel Vogelbach, $2.9 million. Yeah, bye.
Fair. Nope.
Bye bye. What are we keeping him for?
2.9 to just come in and hit like that? He's a decent hitter.
Just look at he's batted to.
You get a better guy.
But you know what I feel like?
Not a lot of money. 2.9.
He did a good job. I don't have much issue with Vogelbach. He struggled down the stretch, but I feel like Vogelbach is a guy that you got to use 2 guys at the end of a game. If he gets on base, then you need to use a pinch runner.
No, absolutely.
So that kind of like,
it depends what's out. It depends what's out there.
He's not too dynamic.
I would bring up a kid.
He's a slugger. That's all he is.
Bring up a kid over.
He's not gonna.
I don't even know if he's a slugger, Keith. I think the way he hits, he's not really a slugger. He's just so big and.
But he can only swing on one line. He can't swing low pitch or a high.
All home runs go to right field, and that's that.
He can only swing one way.
So Vogelwhale is done.
We're out. Tomas Nido. Now he's scheduled to make 1.6. You have McCann making 10. And then and then you got a 20, maybe 20. I don't know when his birthday is. 21-year-old kid that is going to absolutely compete and probably win the job next year. So does this come down
who's getting traded?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Does it come down to spring training? Whoever does better, and you get McCann or Nido, or Cohen could just swallow his pride and say, "Out of here, McCann." He did it with Cano, don't you know?
I don't think Cohen has pride in those kind of in that respect. I think he's just more his pride is winning. I hope. Seems that way. Yeah, I think what the Mets should do is probably there's going to be a team out there that needs a catcher. Trade him for a low ball, high reward
Who,
pitcher, a single
Nito
A pitcher
or
with
McCann?
high McCann.
And
Sorry.
then you got to eat part of that contract. I don't think anybody's taking $10 million in McCann a
Well,
year.
we'll see how good of a GM Epler is, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the best bet. Here's the deal, right? Bottom line, at the end of the day, what the Mets lost on was our offense. Some
Down the
players
stretch.
down the
Yep.
stretch, some players that fans are attached to are gonna go, and some of them are gonna suck. But it is necessary. We need to shake up this offense. We can't just keep everybody because they'll do better next year. No, it's not. It's not that way. We need to inject some serious energy and blood into that lineup.
Blood.
Yeah. So it's there's going to be a lot of change, right? McCann is a lower end of that change, but yeah, he needs to go. And that brings in Alvarez, right, with all that potential he has, and Nito to teach him because Nito is. I mean, he's just throwing bullets from behind the plate. The guy defensively is lights out.
I just want him to stop throwing from his knees.
But he's been throwing bullets. I mean, even in a 3-game series, he was throwing. He didn't get him out all the time, but he was throwing some amazing.
There was one throw that he made. Was it who somebody got thrown at up and in? Was it Machado? I think it might have been Machado. And
he started with his chatter and that son of a little.
He was smiling and laughing at him.
He's
and
just, what he is, bro. He's just
Nito threw out that guy with anger. He probably blacked out. He probably didn't even see it. Yeah, that was very well said, Keith. I just saw Nito just jump up, boom.
Anyway,
the catch is the most important guy and the least appreciated person on the team. I mean, sometimes you gotta be honest, because if he throws the whole game, so if in the 9th inning his arm can be dead, and he can't complain. He can get beat up the whole game, he can't complain. So Nito at 1.6, get rid of find a place for McCann or somebody said DFA. It is what it is. You want the talent. He can't play half a year. I thought that he could be a half a year player and put up good numbers that way. Okay, because it's a different story playing a whole year.
Oh, for sure.
Playing a whole year, and playing half a year and you put up 10, 15 home runs and you hit 250, 260.
Last year.
Okay, half a year.
Didn't he hit 12 home runs last year?
So,
and then he completely regressed this year.
Right. So, you gotta, you can have a bad year, but you can't have a bad year when we're trying to win a championship. So
I wonder,
just don't win the Roberto Clemente Award.
Oh yeah,
suck.
You're a good guy. You're a great guy.
Suck.
But you're not just getting the job done. So now I think we find out a little bit more about Steve Cohen in the offseason. Does he allow for McCann to come back and compete for the backup job in spring training, or does he say, let's just cut our losses here, you're out, good luck to you, go find a team?
He's signed, right? He's signed through the year, so why not let him
2 years?
Compete? Who knows what could happen? Nito could get hurt, and then we need McCann for the whole year.
Does McCann accept a demotion?
Maybe it's not a demotion.
Listen,
doesn't matter.
The minors.
Doesn't matter.
Anything can happen in this league, right? We do not let this guy go. We do not let any inkling out that we want to trade him or we want to DFA him, and you just hold him because somebody's catcher is going to get hurt. Somebody's going to want a catcher, and we're going to take 2 single-A pitchers with some, hopes that they'll be good one day.
I think the promise.
And throw him to that team, and you DFA him, they're going to pick him up, pay him the league minimum, and you're paying him the full salary. So, I think it's a strategy thing. And I also think that Cohen's just going to let Epler kind of run the show. And, I'm sure he'll interject when it comes to signing big money players, of course, and things like that. But I think he's going to let Epler run the show in terms of the offseason. That's what it seems like.
The Billy Epler show.
Yeah.
That's what he's been doing all year.
Dom,
better not change now. 101 wins.
And this is, we have one of the busiest and crucial off seasons of any baseball team, I think, right now. I don't know comparison who has more than us, but I would imagine we're top 3 at least with all the stuff we have going on. This
There's
is
a
a
lot.
big year for Epler, and it's make or break for him because he screws it up this year. I think he's done. We'll see.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
damn, he only had
You just
to
fired
do
him.
that
Look at what we
he
have
just
out there.
fired Epler. He fired Epler.
no,
right
there's a lot of
away.
shit. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah,
There's
look what we
free
have out
agency
there.
galore. Yeah.
Otani's out there. Judge
Yeah, I
is out
don't
there.
think Cohen's going to tell him that. I'm just giving you my
Terzio.
opinion.
All right. So you got Jeff McNeil 6.2. We talked about that. Don Smith at $4 million. Either they don't do it or they do it and then work up the trade market based on how we finished up the league the year in AAA. You got Joey Lucchesi, who we did not see this year, obviously recovering from Tommy John, at a bargain. This is 1.15 million. Knock it out. Grab him. Do it. Drew Smith.
Absolutely.
Drew Smith. This is a bargain.
Real quick
1.2 million.
Before we go into Drew Smith, and that is a bargain for Drew Smith. But Lucchesi, you think you see him as a starter?
I don't see him as I don't see him as anything. I see him as
a good arm,
as a $1.5 million arm that throws that slurve. That it's
he has
low
a lot
risk.
of potential.
Low
But he's
risk,
a 5-inning pitcher at most, maybe 4.
But maybe you turn him into a lefty specialist.
Right.
And even a lefty specialist, a 1.15. I mean, geez.
Yeah.
He's a
middle reliever, a 2 to 3 inning middle reliever. He'll make a ton of money. He'll make
another
a ton of money. He won't have to stress.
Yeah, lefty loogie.
Exactly.
Hell yeah. Terzio says Edwin Diaz 3 years, 110 million.
I'm sure Diaz will love that.
You guys seen all the nonsense with the Braves fans dogging us on that?
Screw them.
Yeah, I'm like, they're just jealous. They're really jealous because their closer still sucks. He's going to be the reason why they suck.
I don't know. 3 year. I don't.
Dom Smith.
3 years, 110 million. That's not happening. 3 years, 110 is not happening. That's not a thing for closers. Nor should it ever be a thing for closers, because if closers start making 35 million a year, that's almost 1 million per save.
Yeah,
but
he doesn't.
We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, he doesn't have the
consistency. That's just not a thing. Drew Smith 1.2. Love that. Love that a lot. Pete Alonso is showing up here as 15.9, but hoping that
that's a long termer. That should be, like Keith said, that's a guy you long term, because he's definitely he is definitely a franchise guy and a meta heart.
Defoe. Is that definitely, or like
Alonso is
he hates Smith.
Why do you hate Smith?
Who hates
Smith?
Smith?
Definitely. Definitely. Defoe?
Joe. Alonso's 27. Throw him a 10-year contract.
17 years.
1 million years.
1 million years.
Where did that come from?
Sorry.
Good Lord.
Sorry, I overreacted.
Damn.
All right, so that'll. You guys are so old. Defoe is definitely. Why is it O? Why isn't it just Def? Like DEF.
Why is it anybody cares?
No, but Rodriguez. I know we don't care. Wait, but we don't care.
Definitely.
But that doesn't make any sense. Defoe. Yep. Thank you. All right. And then lastly is the superstar of the year. Superstar of the year, Luis Guillorme. 1.5 million. Hell yeah. Bring him back.
Absolutely.
Even if he regresses,
he's gonna be an all-star. He's gonna be an all-star next year. Watch, as a utility guy.
Right, because they opened up the
just
utility.
Like fat and confised.
Right. Or Gold Glove.
This is what's happening. Fat and confised. All right.
This is the guy calling Luis Guillorme.
Guillorme will be a Met until he's a free agent. And then
when is he a free agent?
2026.
How old is he? I don't know nothing about. Why do I know nothing about Luis Guillorme?
He's like 28, right?
He's 20 years old.
26.
He's from Coral Springs. Did I mention he's from Coral Springs? He's from Coral Springs.
Wait, he's 28. He might be 34.
And where's he from?
Coral Springs?
Oh, yeah.
What kind, is that like a crack on Spanish people?
That's
Phil?
not a crack on Spanish
Farace,
people.
Why don't you
That's
tell your
not.
wife? Ask your wife how old she is. Tell her she's 10 years older. See how that works out for you.
Yeah, he's 20.
Colombians do cocaine. Nothing. You know,
Mrs. Farace will.
No, he's from
dead,
Venezuela.
Man. You're dead. He's from
Um,
Coral Springs. He's down the
He's from
street.
Coral Springs. What just happened?
He was at the Dairy Queen. What are you talking? Venezuela. His dad's from Venezuela.
I can go for some Dairy Queen.
Yeah, we got him for 3 more years.
All right,
31.
Dairy Queen.
I mean,
So give him his 1.5 and move along.
Guillermo is like Super Joe and better.
Más importante.
He's like Super Joe, but better. That's my opinion with Guillermo. Well,
he hasn't played the outfield yet.
Tercio, what the hell are you doing? How much money are you giving away? So you're giving Ottavino almost 25 a year. What's happening?
Wow. We're
gonna say that you're in an altered state right now, and we're not gonna do that. So
he's on crack.
I feel like we have sufficiently covered the nonsense that went on over the weekend, and now we're gonna get ready to kind of move it along here.
Definitely.
Defoe. Why is Defoe definitely? Let's go round the horn here, round robin, round the room, and any closing remarks. We'll start with you, Keith.
I can't wait till playoffs are over, done with, so we can just jump into this free agency season. I'm watching it. I didn't watch the first 2 games, but I'll start watching now because I just had to heal my wounds and lick my wounds.
Can't do it yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to watch.
I need another couple days. I don't know.
A couple games, but I'll stick with the American League because I can't. Anyway, I can't watch. Yeah, I just can't watch the 2 of the teams in the.
Who do you want to win the World Series this year?
I would say I want the Dodgers to win the World Series to keep it in the NL. Even though I'm not a Dodger fan at all, but I'd like to keep it in the NL, and I would like to see them just, if they get that far, spank the Braves. I would like to see the Phillies spank the Braves, to be honest with you, because the Phillies ain't getting past the Dodgers anyway, and that'll be really funny. But yeah, the Dodgers, in short. I would like to see the Dodgers win, bring the pennant back, keep it in the NL, I should say.
Terzo said lad.
Yeah.
You can't say lad on a show like this.
Good lad.
Lad. All right. I'm assuming that's your closing remarks then, Keith.
Yeah, let's go Mets.
Terzo said bring back Darren Ruff as a hot dog vendor. He can work at Shake Shack.
Yeah.
Shake Shack, baby.
Bring him back as a shit scooper for the parades.
What a douchebag.
He'll go to the American League and hit 290.
Of course. 35 home runs.
35.
Rodriguez, what you got?
Reclamation project. Screw you, Ruff.
Rodriguez, go ahead. Tell him, Rodriguez, that you want to lock up Naquin. I'll let you explain that.
Yeah, let's bring in everybody's free swingers that like to swing at everything and don't know how to wait for a pitch and make a hit. And no more streaky hitters, dudes. Get solid 270, 280 hitters. Find them. They're out there. I don't care if they don't hit 25 to 30 home runs. Get on base. That's the team that we had. That's the team that we had all year. And then at the end of the year, they choke. However, Mets fan, I love the Mets. 101 wins. I'm happy with that. It's the first year of getting everything redone, basically. A new GM and all that good stuff. New coach, new manager, a lot of new players. Next year, I'm expecting 100 wins. And I expect to go deeper into the playoffs, if not to really win a World Series. And I'm being dead honest. Make it happen, Billy Epler. You have the chance. You have the money behind you. Let's see how this offseason turns out. Let's go Mets, man.
Defoe.
Definitely.
Producer Joe, what you got for us? I don't know if we should even go to you with the Defoe thing. Go ahead.
A lot of anger and backed up sperm.
There's so much anger. I hate everybody.
Wait. Hold on. Terzo said they let a 187 average San Diego Padres hitter beat us. So we should absolutely keep McCann.
Because he could beat everybody, right?
He'll do it next year.
He can't.
God, Terzo just proved his point.
Exactly.
I can't even choose for anybody. I hate everybody. I want everybody to lose. I think the only National League team that I hate the least, I guess, is the Dodgers, because I hate everybody else more. And then I can't root for the cheaters. I can't root for the Yankees. So I mean, I guess I would want to see maybe the Guardians or the Mariners.
No,
but
Mariners maybe.
Maybe
Guardians.
Mariners.
No, I don't want any ex-Mets winning.
Ex-Mets winning.
Right, screw the Mariners too.
I can't watch any of this. I can't watch any of this baseball. I'm watching. The Jets are looking good. Jets are surprised.
Not watching baseball. Yeah.
Zach Wilson looks better than expected. This is where my head is. So
baseball show.
Baseball show. Relax.
Everything I said last week still holds, with the exception of the excitement for the playoffs. We had a great season. We have a lot to be excited for the future. We have a respectable team and a respectable owner. The old timers day is back. We're not a laughing stock anymore. This is tremendous disappointment that it's a lesson to be learned that we got to beat up on the bad teams anytime during the season. Down the stretch early in the year, 101 wins wasn't enough. We need 105 next year. So I'm sure everybody paid attention, and we're going to make those improvements that we have to next year. And defo, let's go Mets.
Definitely. Yeah, that was a definite. Definitely.
Where was he? Was he in a subway car at the bottom in New York? I mean, what was going on back then? The background.
All right.
He's riding the bus.
I don't even. Producer Joe has a point. Who do you root for in this thing right now? Who's Dodgers? Guardians.
I wish nobody. I hope the series never finishes this year. I hope they all get swallowed up.
I don't want to root for any of these teams.
Nope.
For me, it would be the Cardinals. If not, then the Dodgers. If not, then I'd have to go back to the American League, because definitely not rooting for Phillies.
The Cardinals did this to us, dude. The Cardinals should never win a championship again, ever.
Yeah, well, we only have so many options, so I got to pick from some of them.
Look at. I swear to God, Terzio needs some. Terzio, you need help. The catcher position this year for the Mets have been horrendous. Yes, but the catcher position did not lose us the series. Mm-hmm. The catcher position did not lose us many games. I mean, if you can point out 2 games, 3, I don't know. But that's just not it. That's just
how many teams that were in our position won 101 games and only had 1 hit in a deciding game in the playoffs?
Absolutely zero.
Well, now it's 1 because New York Mets did it, baby. Another shitty record for us.
Another shitty face record.
Shitty bang bang. Shitty bang bang. All right. All right. So I have no idea who to root for, so I'm not even going to say anything right now. But I will blame this all on producer Joe. Remember our prediction show right before the Brave series? We were trying to will 103 victories, and producer Joe stood pat at 101. And how many victories did we have? 101.
Yep.
How many division titles did we win, Joe? 0.
Shut up!
The Braves.
You really think it's his fault?
And forced it down our throat.
Why not?
That's a horrible thought, Keith. Thank you very much. I'm not thinking of it that way. I'm just gonna think that they won the division.
Suck.
That's it. I give them their they won the division, dude. They should get the respect for that. I hate them so much.
That'll do it this week, and we will be back. We'll talk about some of our early season predictions, free agency stuff after the World Series. But we'll keep you on all up to date on the potential for Edwin Diaz to be locked up before he even makes it to the open market, which would be trumpets to our ears. So that'll do it for us this week. We'll talk to you guys next week. See you in the group. see you on the podcast. Hey, forget about it. Let's go Mets. Let's
see you around.
This aside. Wash it aside, as difficult as it is. Drink. Do whatever you got to do to get through this. All right, we'll talk to you guys next week. Let's go Mets. I gotta say it anyway. Let's go Mets. Peace.
Let's go Mets.
Peace.
Put up the box.